Breaking news. Today is December 26, 2014. Symbolic day for both citizens of America and Russia. Beginning with the rise of Lenin in the early 1900s, continuing onward with the power of Stalin, communism has been practiced in Russia, previously known as USSR, for decades.
Starting in the year of 1947 and ending in the 1900s, it's been exactly 46 years since the Cold War has ended. The feud between the superpowers of Russia and America had consisted of economic and political differences over totalitarian communism and capitalist democracy.
Gorbachev, known as the last president of the USSR, had went through these two procedures in the early 1900s, called Glasnost and Perestroika, widely known today, that had caused the end of the Cold War.
First off, the Glasnost has been a publicity procedure, giving all citizens the right to have knowledge of everything that went on in the country of Russia during that time. This had went completely against the rules of communism. The Glasnost has been an openness of the government, giving citizens the full ability to talk freely and criticize government actions.
Next, the Perestroika had been a great process of the rebuilding of the government system. Old laws and methods were reversed, and their system of government had become close to a democracy, just as the U.S. had wanted. Identified today as democratization, the Perestroika had given citizens more economic freedom. People could then own businesses and properties again, unlike in the reign of the communism. Now, live with the reporter Owen in An American Spy.
Hello, we are here today with the granddaughter of a well-known American spy. As she could not make it today, in the 1900s, this woman's grandmother had spied constantly on the Russians, acting convincingly as one of their own, knowing former knowledge of their language. Hello, when the fall of the Berlin Wall happened on November 19, 1989, what exactly had your grandmother seen?
Well, at 11 in the morning on the night, the Berlin Wall guards had unexpectedly just allowed anyone from East Germany to go across to the west. When the people of the East and West of Germany had discovered this, many people had then rushed over to both sides. There had been a lot of crying and rejoicing, but most of all happiness.
Here are some clips of the fall of the Berlin Wall.
East Berlin, and the sound that you hear and what you're seeing tonight, not hammers and sickles, but hammers and chisels as young people take down this wall bit by bit. Earlier this evening, the Communist Central Committee in East Berlin proposed an action program, including free elections and a democratic coalition government. Tonight, citizens from both Germanys are singing and dancing on the wall itself, reunited right on top of that harsh symbol of division. Thousands of East Berliners have been pouring into West Berlin since the borders were open, and tonight in this city, famous for its carefree nightlife, in this city where the song says, life is a cabaret, tonight in Berlin, it is Freedom Night. But today, sections of the wall are being knocked down physically, not just by kids, but by soldiers of East Germany as well as citizens. Arthur Kent has been out in the streets and into the neighborhoods that are about to be made whole again after nearly 3 decades.
The Soviets surprised at the speed of the change?
Yes. Everybody is surprised with the speed of the change.
They say now that they want a genuine democracy in East Germany. It's one thing to say it, but you really have to apply yourself to build it. The fact is, none of this would have happened without the vision and the courage of Mr. Gorbachev. It's really a visionary man who's known what it was like to live under the old system and wishes better things for his people.
Advocate that we preserve a little part of it for the museum.
West Berliners who've seen the wall built say these scenes change everything.
And I was thinking the wall will never fall.
What are you thinking now?
The wall will fall.
There you have it, the fall of the Berlin Wall.
1989, the breakup of the USSR had been announced. On this day, President Mikhail Gorbachev had resigned and handed over full power to the first Russian president, Boris Yeltsin. The next day, December 26, the independence of Russia had finally been announced.
During Yeltsin's time in office, beginning in July, Russia's first president had introduced the policy shock therapy. This policy had a radical effect on Russia's economy. The shock therapy had suddenly shifted Russia's command economy to a free market economy, communist to capitalist. People could then suddenly own businesses that were previously owned by the government. This shift had been an absolute disaster to the population, as they had not been used to this kind of freedom before.
Bum 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 bum.